Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot and welcome to your Taroscopes for the new moon in Pisces on the 13th of March, tomorrow as I'm filming, so hopefully I'll get them all out on time. As ever, this is a little introduction about the new moon and what I've got to say about it, which is not a lot this time. And then there's a timestamp in the description below to fast forward to your reading. The reason I do this is because I advise you to watch 3 of them: your sun, your moon, and your rising signs. And if you don't know what your moon and rising signs are, there is a link in the description down below just so you can get yourself a free birth chart. There's plenty of sources, websites online that you can get that from. Now, as ever, I would like you to ask a question prior to the reading. So have a think about, while we discuss the moon, or pause the video if you need to, have a think about all the questions that are floating around you at the moment and focus on one of them. I mean, definitely pause before the reading, just to spend that moment of focus. And be aware of all of them, though, because the cards will answer what they please, and not necessarily what you or I think are the highest priority issues. But yeah, this is a new moon at 23 degrees Pisces. It's the last of, I think, 6 new moons at 23 degrees of whatever sign they're supposed to be in that month. Supposed to be, that sounds wrong, but you know what I mean. The first thing that jumped out on me here is, well, the new moon is moon conjunct sun, as we all know. And this new moon at 23 degrees Pisces is smack bang on Albert Einstein's sun. So not a new moon in his case, but I really just like that image of, if you think about part of his identity that we all know, is his ability to think things through, to reason, to ask questions. And this is what I think this new moon is about. Watching a lot of the astrologers' videos, which I have yet to actually post on my Facebook page, link down below, I'll talk about that in a minute. But a lot of them are saying this new moon is not so much a time about setting intentions this time. That's for the day after, couple of days after, 3 days after of the new moon. It's more a case of planning to set the intentions, working out what you need to have in place for you to make your mind up about how you're going to proceed further. So another way of saying that is a way to clear space for setting the intentions. So clear space indicates all the old tropes of letting go and, to a great extent, forgiveness. So if there's anything you need to work on forgiving, now's an ideal time to do it. I probably have a few things on my own list. Now, this is emphasized even more by the degree angel. At 23 degrees Pisces, this degree is ruled by the angel Manakel, who represents accountability and the knowledge of good and evil. So with that knowledge of good and evil, there's that is good for me, that is not good for me, that is just downright evil, that's just not good for me. Both of those two things we can get rid of now, hopefully. Also, Manakel is ruling Mars this time. So it's 2 planets Manakel's ruling. Mars is quintile the moon, which, if I remember correctly, bear in mind I'm not an astrologer, but indicates a creative force between the two of them. So our emotions and our urge to jump forward and do whatever are linked creatively, almost mystically. Now, Saturn, you may recall in my full moon reading that I did 2 weeks ago, Saturn was sat there listening to the moon while the angels were running around, sort of an angelic court, going, "What about this? What about this? What about this?" And Saturn's going, "Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Don't understand." Saturn this time's not even talking to the moon. No aspects between the moon and Saturn whatsoever. There is one between Mars and Saturn. Let me look it up. I forget off the top of my head what it is. Yes, there's a harmony between Mars and Saturn this time. So, as in a trine aspect. So hopefully that Manachel's discernment, understanding, the thinking as shown by Albert Einstein's son, will get transferred into some form of action that Saturn can approve of, because Saturn still remains the ruler of the chart. On that note, you know how I like my looking up astrology of the first appearances of comics characters. This is also on Lex Luthor's Lilith and Lex Luthor's Mercury. So while we're in this era of Neptune in Pisces, which again just conjuncted with Venus, but more on that in a second, or is coming up to the conjunction. I think it's coming up to the conjunction. I meant to check it before I started filming. Yeah, we've just had Sun conjunct Neptune, and we're going to Venus conjunct Neptune. Really, same day. So, near as damn it. But the Lex Luthor, Lilith and Mercury, we've got, with Lex Luthor, we've got that symbol of thinking, working things out. Okay, he had a few agendas that maybe you and I might not agree with, but he was very good at communicating things and swaying public opinion. Positive and negative there. Because Neptune in Pisces, obviously, delusion, illusion, imagination run riot, obsession. And yeah, I wouldn't trust anything Lex Luthor says one way or another. So there may be more public narratives that we would need to question, but there's also that sense of people using their own discernment and making space for the new, and being aware of all the factors that are popping their head up, saying, before you make your plans, what about this? What about that? Don't forget about me. Don't forget about this thing over here. Now, also in Quintile, we have Mercury and Uranus, ruled by Rahel, who is known as Diamond in the Rough, and is also attributed to filial submission, the submission of children to their parents, for example, but also a dispenser of longevity. So Mercury in itself, in its post-shadow phase, we've had loads of things brought up to us yet again that we can now let go of. That's the idea of the post-shadow phase. The diamond in the rough makes me think of vague plans. Vague plans that you're going in that general direction, but you don't have to firm up the details yet. You don't have to cut that diamond just yet. It's beautiful as it is. As for the filial submission, yeah, I don't know. It's there. I thought I would mention it. I've no idea how that one is going to. That could be on a very personal level for people, or it could reflect the drama going on with the royal family. There's definitely generational issues occurring with this new moon that helps us determine the way forward, hopefully in a positive way. I'm feeling pretty positive about this. I mean, people will say it's Pisces being the 12th sign is very similar, but not the same. I must stress it's not the same as the 12th house. So in terms of isolation, I don't want to say isolation. I want to inward looking study, really examining that which is within us. But we've got quite a stellium here in Pisces because, what is it, Sun, Moon, Venus, Neptune. So that's a lot of power. Obviously with the Venus-Neptune conjunction, appreciation of beauty, mysticism, maybe beautiful illusions, and you will see various astrologers talk about the the beautiful love and relationship aspect. Can also be relationship to things that we value. But this new moon is wonderful for, like I say, preparing to set your intentions. Let old things go, focus on what you love, and work out how what it is you love is going to carry you forward, what passion you want to follow. I said I'd talk about the Facebook thing. Link down below. Like I said, I share normally. I haven't this last week, but I think you'll understand that with you've seen the intro bit already. I normally post the videos of all the astrologers that I follow and whatever else that I find on YouTube that is in this vein of beautiful woo-woo. But it's also got a personal inbox. So if you want a personal reading from me, obviously watch the reading first so you can judge whether you want this or not. But if you want a personal reading, that's a way to get in touch with me. You are more than welcome to comment down below. I try to respond to all of my comments. Not always on time, but I don't hover over the computer. But I always like to try and respond. And it's interesting to know what you think. It's interesting to know that it's reassuring to know that the readings that I am doing are hitting home somewhere. Because in taroscopes, there's 3 layers to them, I think. There's obviously me doing the reading for a zodiac energy. Then there's you, the viewer, finding the readers that you... Oh, I've forgotten the word. I was going to say synchronize with, but that's... Nope, can't remember the right word. But the ones that you vibe with, the ones that you resonate, that's it. The ones that you resonate with. And then you have to apply the reading to your own circumstances if it sounds relevant. Absolutely and totally and utterly discard it if it does not sound relevant, because this is not a sort of form of mundane tarot reading. The reading either is for you and you'll be able to hear that, or it's not. Go and watch your rising sign, go and watch your moon sign. I mean, new moons, full moons, go and watch your moon sign always. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff, because it really does help. I'm still aiming for that magic 1000 yet, so anything you can do to assist with that will be greatly appreciated. And like I say, before I bring up the cards, just remember that one thing: ask a question first. And I think that's everything that I've got to say. I actually thought I had nothing to say about this new moon, and I've not said a lot, but I think that in and of itself is significant, that it's this space. Pisces can be about rebirth, so it is this space, like the creative void before the word, that we are able to set the directions of our own rebirth, or at least, being a tarot reading, because I'm always talking about new beginnings, because that's what the cards do, this month's rebirth. So I hope you're all well, and I will bring up your cards. Cheers. Okay, Sagittarius, this starts wonderfully with the Ace of Swords clarified by the Fool right in the center of the reading. There is a level of clarity that you have achieved regarding a specific something. There is I am having a new beginning now. That's it. This is a new day. Yes, today is a new day. I might call it that. Today is a new day, and I'm going to move forward, secure in my own authority and feeling balanced in that, because I can see, you can see both sides of a situation. You can see where, you can see where your actions have been positive and where they have been less than positive, and you are quite confident on how to set forward. However, what's obscuring you is that a matter that you believe is ended may not be quite so ended for everybody. It's almost like it can come up again. Now, in one way of reading these cards, it's as if you've gone through a breakup. And again, when I say a breakup, could be relationship with a big R, could be splitting up with a job, splitting up with friends, splitting up. You've separated from something because that something had or has become a source of discontent, torment, transformation as well. But this was, whatever it was a good thing. It was something that he was incredibly passionate about. So again, could be a relationship, could be a job, could be somewhere where you was happy. But obviously, from these cards, one would assume that there had been some form of discontent arrive, some form of, when completeness is achieved, that is not a static state, because you had that sense of completeness, and then for some reason that had gone, and you're like, okay, I am incomplete. And this is what this Eternal Servitor card is about. It reminds us that we are forever incomplete. And that's okay. That's a good thing. We need to ensure that our desires are taking us in the direction that we want to go, lest we just become what our desires are. Now, Sagittarius, they often say that you're the guru of the zodiac and that you know. I mean, let's face it, Aquarius knows. But Sagittarius is very, very sure on what is and what isn't. And you're definitely in your traditional headspace here. Ace of Swords with the Fool, having the clarity of a new beginning. How you feel being the Emperor, secure in your own authority and believing that you are balanced. And I think to a great extent that you are. But the situation around you may not be as balanced as what you're feeling, which is okay, because there are numerous ways that this can be resolved, and most of them are nonsense. And that's something that you maybe want to keep an eye open on, because there's what you are considered as being resolved isn't not necessarily resolved for everybody, but maybe you just need other people to catch up, because you have been laying the seeds for this, and I do believe that you are spearheading the progress towards the resolution that you see has already occurred. I'm getting this from this Three of Wands here. This is a guy stood on a cliff looking out and seeing his ships come in. However, notice he's also the advanced scout for a caravan train that's like there in the background. So, let the world catch up with you. It's going to be slow progress. And just be wary that you can be so very sure of your position that you're maybe a tad too forceful around it. But you accepting the end of this situation is the right thing by the looks of it. But how you handle that ending is where the importance is coming in, with the Hierophant that the Spirit is bringing in, showing that there's traditional guidelines that you need to go by, and moral or spiritual guidelines that you need to ensure that it's the going, right, no, that's it, it's an end, and I'll hear no more about it. No, everybody else has got to that point that you have got to. And I think by all of this, although I can't see it directly, but I'm deducing that there's some hand holding that needs to occur so that you are not dragging someone to the conclusion of this situation, but you are gently leading them to the conclusion of this situation, because that will set you up. It's almost like with the Princess of Wands, I'm feeling like there's something that you are wanting to go out into the world and say to whoever, whether this is whether this is in, I mean, I think I'm seeing it quite in a personal life. It's like saying to everybody, I'm doing this now. But all the people that were doing something else with you beforehand, you're just like, what? Eh? What? But we're in the middle of. And it's like, no, 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 it's finished. Um, Let them, give them the space to reach that realization themselves. Be careful about really closing any doors, but also be careful about where did it, I'm looking at this card here from the Queen of the Moon. We've got release. So I feel that there's things that you need to release. However, with this clarity and securing your own authority, you feel that those things are released. So that release may be also you helping others around you to release whatever it is that you've already said goodbye to in your head. And you may find that there's a few things just that were left there that you hadn't released quite as well as what you thought you had, and thereby by helping them, you are helping you. But I really like the oracle card that starts. This is a really positive reading because we start with a win-win or outcome is forecast. I can't talk today. I'm sorry. I'm not getting my words out. But a win-win outcome is forecast. So wherever you are heading to, as long as you are gentle and accept that right now progress will be slow, because the shadow side of the Emperor is that full Aries ramming ahead, come what may, no matter who's in your way, plow straight through them, and or being remote on a throne and not understanding the struggles of the common folk, so to speak. That would be a downside. So this is what this eternal servitor is putting all over this reading, because it's almost like you're worried that a situation that you have seen this ending to is not ended, and it's going to drag you back and it's going to trap you, and there's still more information that's likely to come out that will make that you may have a reaction of la la la, not listening, I'm not getting dragged back there, I'm not going back there. But that information will actually be quite healing for you and others. Well, the Devil card here, obviously, I clarify it with my Demon Possessed Tarot, and we've got the Page of Swords with Botis. So the Page of Swords indicates messages. It's like whether text messages, phone calls, emails, certainly digital messages, but even letters, information from books. But with it, it feels more active than that. So it's a personal message rather than an article online or something you found in a library or what have you than that. But Botis here gives answers of the past, present, and future, and reconciles friends and foes. So it's almost a don't throw the baby out with the bathwater feeling that I'm getting on this. Just because you have moved on doesn't mean that everybody else has moved on, and you need to gently, and I stress the word gently help them move on, because that will help you finalize some matters to do with this ending that your attention is already elsewhere. So therefore, there is that risk that the old situation, whatever it is, can pull you back in, but not for the reasons that you think. It's because there's certain matters that you maybe have not yet resolved. This is why this resolution of the Ten of Swords here is remains an obstacle, even though you've got this wonderful crystal clear clarity and you've got angelic hosts cheering you along on this new path. And this new path is a right path. Yes, absolutely. But don't trip other people up by your slipstream. Don't have the I'm out of here, eat my dust. You know, there's you're leading them to options that they now have because you have seen this finality, because you are aware of this ending. And they still have things to bring up that help you make sure that that ending is a final, ain't going to come up again, ain't going to bother you again ending, rather than something that can come and trip you up later. Because this work for this new beginning that you see so clearly, it's going to take time. Knight of Discs here. You will get a reward for it, but there's going to be a long time of doing the same thing again and again and again and again. And you're going to find that this clarity that you have right now, this is going to change. It's going to mutate, as is only right. Because the clarity that you have right now is clarity of where to put your next foot. It is not the clarity of where you're going to be in 5 or 10 years' time. That is going to come from experience. And the love that you had and security that you had in the previous situation, this clarity that you have, it's there, but the love for the goal is not there yet. And that still requires building. And it will get built by you ensuring that this finality really is final, really is finished. And that is done by opening the doors for others to see this finality and move forward. A win-win outcome is forecast. So it doesn't need to be just you winning. It needs to be you winning and whoever this finality you are sharing, whoever you are sharing this finality with, like I said, I can't talk today. Whoever you are sharing this finality with, getting them to the situation where they're in a winning position as well. And to a point, yes, that's on you. And it's on you because you're so damn sure of yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Just make sure that you are using it as a scalpel and not a mallet. You know, this, I think, is the best way to put it. Because you are going to be finding that on this new path, you're doing the same thing again and again and again as you slowly get better at whatever this new path is. But that's where the love of this new path will come. At the moment, here it's an idea. You've had the passion before, and the passion is going to come again. But it's a youthful passion at the moment. It needs time to blossom. It needs time to have both the fiery passion of, yes, I'm going ahead, and the love of, I love doing this. This is, I'm totally in love with being in this space. Because you've been there before, and where you're heading right now, you can't see that you're going to be there again, even though the being there before has come to an end. But all things in their season. But this is a really, really nice reading. It's really positive. But by helping others release, you are making sure that you are releasing as well. So that's really all I've got to say here. So if it means anything to you, Sagittarius, comment down below, like, share, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff, as ever. And I will see you at the new moon readings, okay? Cheers.